Hello once again, everybody. We're visiting with Keith Kemp. Keith, we've talked in the past, and there may be a few people among our listeners that don't know where your operation is located.
Okay, Gary, I'm located in southwestern Ohio. I'm right in between Eaton and Greenville, right on Interstate 70 on State Route 127.
And what's involved with your operation?
We run a little better than 2,000 acres, corn, wheat, and soybeans, and we've really stepped up our wheat program that we're raising over 200 acres of wheat and double cropping beans behind those, and it's kind of our cover crop we're making some money with.
Very good. Now, Keith is involved with the Ohio Soybean Council, doing some of the, reporting now for you about some of the research that the committee has gotten involved with. Tell us a little bit about that research, Keith.
Well, research in the soybean business, for a farmer, it's really one of the most important things we were doing. And it's really good to have our university extension people doing a lot of the research because, a lot of our big companies have research. But again, it's better when it's on your farm. It's a boots on the ground. And I'm also associated with North Central Research Projects, the National Association. And we have some program, Boots on the Ground, that we're actually doing a lot of plot work with seeding populations, fungicides, insecticides. And, that's where the farmer's going to make some profit. We got to figure all this stuff out. And we do it on our own farms, and then we take all of our states' research and throw our big data. It's just exciting times with research now because we got big data, we got everything going for us now, and we can really step our farms up. And that's what we've done in our operation. We've been the big data thing for over 10 years, and it's just been phenomenal how it's changed the operation.
Keith, I think times have changed. I can remember a time when a farmer, he didn't want to give away any kind of information, keep it all by himself. But as you said, it pays him to share that information with other farmers.
Well, that's the biggest thing we're fighting now with big data, that the farmers don't want to share data. But if they don't do it, they're not going to really capitalize. And you got to share, locally and then take some statewide issues and some national issues and, compare everything because the information, we're in the information age now, everything we're doing, to me, it's the most exciting thing ever that we can have all these tools in our toolbox to work with.
Well, another part of the research and something that I find is really exciting is some of the different kinds of products, some of the beans that are being grown, more food grade beans than in the past. And right next to you, we have the start of a couple of different varieties.
Yes, we do. In the food grade industry, Ohio is a big player in the food grade on soybeans. I think it's close to 20% of our sales at Ohio, going to Japan, China, all your Middle Eastern countries. And a couple of beans we have here. We have the new black bean. That's a food grade bean that it's being used as in the United States and in Eastern Europe, but it's replacing like the kidney beans, pinto beans. They all use it for cooking and everything. So it's kind of an exciting new market. Then we have the FY1s. It's always been around as our food grade, and that's our big bean. It goes to Japan, China, and everything. So it's exciting. And then also we have the high oleic soybean that we worked at back at the United Soybean Board. And, that's our low saturated, healthy bean that we're going to have for the consumer. And, we're in the process of getting that more and more used. And we just hope eventually that's our bean of the future because it's such a healthy soybean that we're growing there.
Would you say that the evolvement of the soybean started maybe with, maybe in a small way with the tofu bean back, when was that? Back in the 70s, 80s?
Yeah, early 70s probably, because the tofu bean's what's brought all your food grade beans on the market. When you travel, Japan, China, all these places, that's their diet, is tofu beans. In the United States, it's also the diet on the West Coast and East Coast. Midwest farmers, for some reason, we don't like tofu beans. and it's amazing we can't really step that market. But it's coming more and more all the time now. And, with our new meatless meat we've got coming on board, that's tofu and everything. So, there's a lot of opportunities there.
And one of the things I also know about the Ohio Soybean Council and your research, it doesn't sleep. Seems like there's research going on around the clock, 24/7.
Oh, it really is, Gary. That a lot of our projects are yearly projects. A lot of them are 3-year projects because it takes a while to get consistent data. As we know, our environment plays a role every year in everything we're doing. And this year was a prime example. Ohio was really a challenge on the farming practices. So that's where we do 3-year data to make sure we have good information.
Of course, with all the information that is gleaned from this research, it sort of ties in with the theme for the year, Here We Grow.
Well, that's right. Because, like I say, without research, we're not going to grow because it's research makes us money. A prime example in soybeans is really just a simple thing as plant population. We were all planting 180 to 250,000 beans. Well, now we're finding out we're better off planting 100,000 to 130,000. And the seed cost alone there is just phenomenal when we're dealing with these, new beans that's got all the traits and everything in them. So it's just little things that makes a difference in everything we're doing. And every year, we're capitalized more on that and everything. So it's just an interesting world now. We have so many tools to work with. That's what I love about research.
Well, the thing I like about it is looking, back when I started in this crazy business of farm broadcasting, the farmer was one type of individual, and now you look at Keith Kemp, who has lived through that time, and you're a different kind of individual today. You want to do so much on the cutting edge and think outside the box. It's got to be an exciting time for you, Keith.
Well, it really is, because everybody says, why aren't you retiring? Like you, Gary. We love what we're doing. It's such exciting times now with all this new technology. I haven't driven a tractor in 10 years. I push a button. Everything's in front of me, the screens, everything we're doing is giving all the information. And it's just too exciting to step away from. And I've slowed down a little bit, though. I can't do it quite as fast, but I'm still there doing it. And the big thing is, if you don't do it, you're going to be left behind in farming, because farming now is a science, it's technologies, it's a different world. Because like our cell stepping now, we're down to half-acre grids and everything we're doing, and that's been a phenomenal change in our profit margins, because we're finding out those little pockets that drove me nuts on yield when the yield monitors go down. It's nothing but a pH level thing, and you can't find those on the bigger sampling you're doing and everything. So, we just got so many, like I said earlier, so many tools to work with to make us more profitable and really more exciting, because you're seeing all that information right in front of you all the time. And you've got 3 or 4 years comparing everything from your soil types to your soil data, and with all the diseases, and we got we have our own seed treating that we do sell Pioneer seeds. So we're up on all the new seed treatments, and it's amazing the difference that makes, because we got things for sudden death syndrome. We got things for Ptothra that we can treat all this stuff. So it's really making us money. But again, we've got to test that, and that's where research comes in so valuable, because not everything's great that's out there. You got to use it and figure out what's going to make you the return on investment. And that's the exciting part for me, because we've always done test plot work on our farm ever since I've been farming, and we do a huge part of that. We just love doing plots, because we'll do a plot with the variety plots, and do half of it we'll do fungicide, insecticide, the other half we won't, and we're finding out every variety is different, and that's what we really want to find out. And all of our information going on to national companies, the research we're doing with that. So research is where it's all at.
Okay. Most everybody in agriculture knows how to get in touch with KEAT or the Ohio Soybean Council. For those viewers, and we have quite a few viewers that might be not on the farm any longer, how is best for them to reach the Soybean Council or you?
Well, they say you can get a hold of me anytime. I'm just under Kemp Farms, and my phone number would be 937-533-0716, or my email address. You can call me and get that. And soybeans, they're kind of the same way. The internet, everything's there.
Well, Keith Kemp has been our guest. Keith, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, Gary. Enjoyed it.
And stay with us. Back with more after this.
Welcome to the 30-second tour of your local Poet plant. Local producers sell us tons of their grain. We grind it, mix it with water and special enzymes. The result is fermented, distilled, and dehydrated until it's 200 proof alcohol. Corn oil is extracted, and protein and nutrients are condensed, dried, and turned into animal feed, bringing our tour to an end with high-protein feed and cleaner-burning high-octane fuel. Visit poet.com to learn more.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency and Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
I'm Terry McClure, a fifth-generation soybean farmer. Farming can be tough, but we have the Ohio Soybean Council investing farmers' dollars to find new uses for soybeans. Their research helps develop better beans for livestock, poultry, and for people. It also helps create new products like soy-based cleaning supplies and paint cartridges, plus cleaner-burning soy biodiesel. Soybeans are Ohio's #1 agricultural export. To learn more, visit soyohio.org.
S&S Volvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory.
Welcome back, and with me today is Craig Rex, parts manager at S&S Volvo here in Lima, Ohio. And before we get to talking about the integral part that your department plays here at S&S, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've been with S&S for about 4 years now. I've been in trucking for about 20 plus years. I've worked with S&S Volvo for 4 years. Prior to that, I've been with other manufacturers, other brands. The Volvo truck works pretty good for us. There's a lot of commonality and allows us to be able to put different parts together with different models, so that makes it easy for the inventory and parts abilities. I grew up in the local area. It's nice working with a family-owned business and one ownership, with the owner still being in the building whenever you need him. That's kind of nice.
Well, Craig, along with your experience being in the trucking and growing up in the local area, Volvo has won some pretty impressive awards, and no thanks to probably everybody that works here, but your department has definitely played a role in that.
Yeah, winning North American Dealer of the Year has been kind of nice. It's something that we all work hard for, all departments. We work really well with the service department. We try to make sure that they have what they need to get the trucks rolling. It's important that we all make sure the customer gets his truck up and going. The uptime is the most important thing to us right now. It doesn't do any good for that truck to be sitting still. So we try to make sure we have all the inventory we need. We stock everything from gaskets to transmissions, and the I-shift transmission being the key to it. We put as much as we can in making sure we have what they need on the shelf when they need it. And as far as that goes, we go into deliveries. We try to make sure that everything gets delivered in a timely fashion. We run 4 delivery drivers out of there, 1 early in the morning and 3 later in the afternoon. Gives the customers a chance to call in, make sure they get everything the same day they order it. So from that perspective of it, we try to make sure that the customers get their product and get their trucks up and rolling as well, besides what happens here in our departments and our shop. We have a really good avenue with our employees that work with us. We've got quite a few guys that are been with business for quite a while. They got basically 20 years plus, and if they haven't, most of the time they're mechanics. So we got guys that are working for us that have done the job, so they know what it takes. So it's one thing to know what it takes to put the part on, and also knows all the bolts and nuts and gaskets and everything that goes with it. So we try to make sure that the customer gets everything complete and right the first time.
Well, that's so important because, being involved in farming and working on stuff, it's always inevitable that it happens to me that, oh, gee, that part never breaks, so we got to take 2 days to order it. You guys really strive to not let that happen here.
We strive really hard. We do place a lot of orders and stock quite a few quantities so we don't run out. Occasionally, there's that problem, but for the most part, we try really hard to make sure our inventory levels are up and we're taking care of our customers. We do whatever it takes. If we have to go after parts to find parts from other places, we will. It's all about making sure that customer gets that truck up and running.
Well, we talked earlier with the service department and talked about their hours, and you want to tell us a little bit about what's your availability if I need that widget because my truck won't start, right?
We open 7:30 in the morning. We're there until 11:30 at night. I have guys working all shifts, so we're ready for you when you do call. We take internet orders. We take email orders as well. A lot of the customers like to do things over the internet, which is the new technology we're using. So we do a lot that way. We're here on Saturdays. We come in at 8 o'clock and we leave at 4:30. And again, it's staffed so that we can manage whatever your needs may be.
A lot of times when that one part does break, And you say, well, gosh, we've got 50,000 parts here, but that one little part we don't have. And you've got some very interesting stories, I'm sure, over the past few years of what you've been able to do to get that customer back on the road.
Yeah, we've had a few interesting stories. One of late, we've had a customer, Mr. Dick Levy. He had a truck that came in, and this brand new truck got wrecked, and we needed a cab. So we took it upon ourselves to get a cab lined up for him. Of course, one of the things that happens, occasionally things are wrong. We got the wrong cab in. We peeled the roof off. Several of us rolled up our sleeves. We got a new roof. We put it on. We delivered the cab within basically 27 hours of it hitting the floor here. So that was a pretty quick turnaround. It's something that had to be done to get Mr. Levy's truck up and running, and that's what we need to do. That's the extent we'll go to.
Well, you mentioned, we talked about, your staff and the experiences you have within your parts department of how they've actually turned a wrench. And when somebody walks in at the counter and says, I need this gasket set for this, and they'll say, oh yeah, I know all that. What else do you think that the parts department offers in general and complements what they do in the service and the sales here?
Well, one of the things that we work real good with the service department, we constantly have dedicated people for that department, and basically that's all they do. They work with the service side. They work through the assist cases. They're looking at the exact same cases that the customers, the service manager, and the techs are looking at. So they tend to know exactly what's going on with each truck in the shop. We also have people who actually go out to the shop, and they pick up the parts, deliver the parts. More time for the mechanics to be working on the truck, and less downtime with us running parts back and forth. It's not something the mechanics need to be doing. We need to keep the trucks going and keeping the guys working on the trucks to get them going up quicker. So a lot of times we'll use our parts guys to make sure that happens, and we keep the shop going.
If somebody walks in here to S&S Volvo, they buy a truck, what can they expect?
We do pretty much everything we can possibly do for the customers. We build relationships. Once you're a customer of ours, we take care of you all the way through. Everything from leasing, service, body work, some paint work, from parts. We constantly try to make sure you get what you need and get it taken care of. It is truly, you're part of the team when you come to S&S, and we want you to feel like part of the family.
Well, Craig, thanks for being with us today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more right after this.
S&S Volvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory.
Sinus problems and headaches? Have a sneaking suspicion there's mold lurking about? With over 20 years in business, you can trust the professionals at EarthSafe Ozone. They will test, inspect, and treat your home or office, eliminating mold, mildew, fungus, and bacteria. It's time to put an end to pesky mold. Call 419-227-0303 to schedule your mold spore test today.
United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com. Closed captioning paid for in part by the following. Are you looking to buy or sell farmland? Then work with a company that works for you. Ron Spencer Real Estate. Founded in 1975, Ron Spencer specializes in farmland, agricultural, and commercial real estate. Check him out on the web with 3 locations to serve you. Ron Spencer Real Estate at rsre.com. That's rsre.com.
When it comes to manure, Kuhn Knight isn't afraid to say they've handled all kinds for over 60 years. Whether it's dry, wet, slurry, or pin pack, Kuhn Knight has the right spreaders to handle your material. Choose between the rear discharge system with capacities of 165 to 1,230 cubic feet, or pick the side discharge system with 1,000 to 5,000 gallons of capacity. Ask your local Apple Farm Service to learn more about the lineup of Kuhn Knight manure spreaders.
Welcome back to In Ohio Country today. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Shelby Croft. And Shelby, of course, is the communications director for the Ohio Department of Agriculture. We're here today at Farm Science Review, and this is like a frontline marketing opportunity for you guys at the Department of Agriculture to meet and greet and talk to people about what's happening at the Department of Agriculture.
Absolutely. When you come into our building, we showcase several different things here. Certain subjects that a lot of people here want to know. Obviously, this is a huge agricultural trade show. So when you come in here, I know you showcased our wine program, our Ohio Proud program, also our farm program with the Centennial Bicentennial program. We also have information on our new hemp program that's coming up and our new farmer mental health program called Got Your Back that we've been talking about.
You know, what's interesting is that there are so many developing areas of agriculture here in the state of Ohio. Last 10 years, we've seen the grape industry just completely explode, if you will, in microbrews throughout the state. But new products like hemp really make your job exciting when it comes to promoting these different agricultural products in the state.
Well, I think a lot of people don't always associate those things with agriculture. I mean, you think of wine, most people don't backtrack to, hey, they grow the grapes here and then process the wine. All of those, as I was saying, I don't know that people actually track it back to the farmer. The hemp program, they're going to be growing the hemp. I mean, obviously, it's all agriculture, and I mean, agriculture is the number one industry in our state.
You know, of course, through the Department of Agriculture and the governor's office, there are constant reminders of getting out to the general public what's happening. And of course, a lot of the general public, whether they're on the farm or off the farm, they're concerned about where their products come from. They're concerned about the environment. And you have a very particular role in making sure that the right information gets out at the right time and not misinformation.
That is correct, and we have so many positive things that are coming out of the Department of Agriculture in our state in this respect. We have a governor who has an agricultural background, and that's fabulous because he understands and he gets how important this is for our state.
You know, again, when we talk about the environment, there's been a lot of issues regarding water quality. Can you talk a little bit about what we're pushing forward from a communicative standpoint to make sure everybody's getting the right information there?
Absolutely. We have the new H2 Ohio program, and obviously the Department of Agriculture has a part in that, and farmers are a big part of it, and they're doing their part right now for what they can do for water quality.
Shelby, how important is it to get that information out and to get it out in a timely fashion?
It's always very important. I mean, obviously, there's so many channels these days to do that, and we try to utilize all of them. We have Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and all of these subjects we are putting out there constantly because we want the people of Ohio to know all of the good programs going on, all of the positive things that are coming out of the Department of Agriculture.
What's cool, too, is that you're more than just locked into the Department of Agriculture, but you're involved and tapped into probably every other department in the state, right?
That's absolutely right. We collaborate a lot here in Ohio. It's Governor DeWine is very big on collaboration, so we collaborate with a lot of the agencies. What I brought up, the Farmers and Mental Health program that we just are creating right now, Mental Health and Addiction Services we paired with OSU. Many other organizations have come together for this one campaign to put this out there because we realize how important it is, and we do that on everything we do. Collaboration is huge.
You know, that's an important part of it, too, is making sure not only that you're doing what you have to do to get the message out, but making sure that you're communicating with all these other departments to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Absolutely, and we have very good communications departments. But that is a very important part of my job in my office, but also all of the other agencies. We really are trying to talk all of the time and stay in communication.
So we are talking about communication. So let's talk about those specific tools that people can use. Once again, you talked a little bit about Twitter, you talked about your Facebook page. What other areas or what other frontline marketing tools are you using to get that message out?
I mean, you nailed a lot of them. Everyone is on social media these days. So, I mean, follow our Facebook page. Absolutely. Go to our Twitter page, go to Instagram. We put a ton of information out there. Our website, agri.ohio.gov. Visit that. We are constantly updating it. We're utilizing all of those tools to get the message out there.
You know, as somebody who's in the media, one of the things that I appreciate are the updates that I get from an email standpoint. And it was very prevalent during the Ohio State Fair, the constant updates of what's happening at the fair and using those tools for us to be able to promote what's going on. If people want to get involved, is that something that they can tap into to get a regular email from the Department of Agriculture, or is it just for communication outlets like us?
That we utilize that more for communication outlets like you, and therefore, once you receive the information, then you disseminate the information as well. And we do that across the state, statewide. But really, almost anything we send to you, we also put on the other channels that I've already mentioned.
Shelby Croft has been our guest, Communications Director from the Department of Agriculture here in the state of Ohio. Shelby, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be back with more in Ohio Country today, right after this.
United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
Test a Hall of Fame machine with the Manitor event coming to Apple Farm Service. Try out a full range of Manitou telehandlers, from the compact MLT 420 to the massive MLT 961. Hook up over a dozen attachments and test drive around the lot with bales, pallets, and other obstacles. Breakfast, lunch, and prize giveaways will be available at this free event. Plus, receive a $1,500 coupon for your next Manitou when you stop by. It's the Manitor, coming December 11th to Apple Farm Service's Covington store.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of In Ohio Country Today. For more information, as always, you can check us out on the web at inohiocountry.com. We have a Facebook account. We also have a YouTube channel and more. And as I mentioned, check us out on inohiocountry.com. Have a good day, everybody.